Hey everybody, it's me again, finally. I apologize, it's been way too long since I left one of these. A lot has happened and I've wanted to leave and do a vlog for over a month and a half, and I just keep getting distracted by summer. Summer is when the kids are home and we try to fill our days with staycations and fun projects and play dates, and our time fills up faster than I can keep up, and the next thing I knew, the summer was over and the kids went back to school last week already. So I apologize. A lot has happened. There's been a lot of ups and downs, mostly ups though, and it's been a really interesting process still so far. Just like they said before I had the surgery, the process is definitely 10% the actual surgery and 90% mental, and I feel like it's definitely been a lot of the mental. A lot of the time has been spent trying to figure out what I can eat and how much I can eat and when I should eat and all those things, and definitely trying to push the protein, which is still always an issue, but something I try to do as often as possible. I've even gotten some protein powder to just add to pretty much everything I can think of just to get the extra protein in that way. Some of the time in the beginning was spent getting sick a lot because I would do things that my stomach wasn't happy about, but that eventually went away. And I think officially I can say at this point that I'm not going to get the dumping syndrome, and I really can eat pretty much every and anything I want, which again, when I had the surgery, I said I'm not going to have any complications. It was all a mental thing for me. I really wanted to be in a good mental space and say I'm not going to have any complications. I'm not going to have any issues. I'm going to make this the best as possible. And I got what I wanted. But that also means that now I really have to focus myself on what I eat and what I put into my stomach, because my stomach's not going to tell me no. The only thing it still tells me, side note, that I can't eat is eggs. And I tried it again just recently thinking, oh, it's been some time, and no, bad idea. I told my family, don't ever let me do that again. So, on the one side, that means that I will feel better when the process is over, knowing that I worked mentally so hard to do this and it wasn't just my stomach telling me I can't do it. On the other hand, it definitely is like I have to, every day, every meal, make a choice to eat something oftentimes different than what the rest of the family is eating, so that I know that I'm eating healthy things and sticking to the right diet and doing the right thing. I have moments where I feel like I've lost a ton of weight and I feel awesome and I fit into clothes that I didn't fit into before, and I just want to cry because I'm so excited. And then I have other moments where someone can make the simplest comment and I could just spiral into, this isn't going fast enough and I don't know if it's going to work, and I'm afraid, because I'm afraid. Even with losing the weight, I'm still afraid it's not gonna happen, because I've spent so long here, so long trying everything, doing things like exercise and diet that works for other people that never at all worked for me, that there's still that part of me in the back of my mind that is afraid that I'm gonna fail. So it's a mental thing all the time, but I try to stay positive, and I have a few really good friends, including Randy, of course, that put me back into perspective and help me to see that this is going really well, and I don't have to look at the numbers all the time to know that. And that's part of it, is that I chose, a lot of people choose to weigh themselves often when it comes to these, and I do not. I don't like to do that. I don't want to become obsessed with the number. I don't want to stare at it every week and be like, oh, I only lost this much this week, or no, I don't want to do that. So I chose to only weigh myself when I go to the doctor, and I haven't been to the doctor since the last time I left a vlog. I did try to get on the scale here, but I don't find that it's the most accurate, and I got on the Wii a few times to try to do the Wii Fit again, and I got some numbers on there that gives me kind of a little bit of an idea, but again, it just becomes something that it's too easily to become obsessed with, so I try not to do it. Everything else, I've been feeling a lot better as far as being weak goes. It's not completely gone, which is a huge frustration for me, but most of it, it's so much better that it really doesn't become an issue often. I feel like I get up more and do things more. I have way more energy than I used to. I even started doing yoga again, which is really big because I love yoga so much, and I wasn't able to do it towards the end there. So I definitely see a difference in my energy levels and being able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. And it's funny too because, you know, when I was this weight before, which was probably about a couple years ago, I didn't feel good about myself. I felt horrible, obviously. But it's funny when you start to lose weight and you see the difference in what you were, you feel fantastic. And it's funny because you think to yourself, I would not feel fantastic being this way in a normal circumstance. But when you look at this weight compared to what I was a few months ago, I feel freaking awesome. And I feel like I have way more confidence than is probably even sane. But it works, so I don't mind. But it's just a funny thing that happens. And I forget that when people see me, they don't see, oh, look at, like, people who don't know me, strangers, they just see a fat girl still. They don't see a fat girl who used to be a really fat girl. And so it's almost like a weird thing that in my head I see it differently than everyone else, which quite honestly I've always done, because as I said before, I always used to see myself as a thin person, even though I clearly wasn't. The other negative, because there really aren't that many, but the only other negative has been the hair loss. And that is something that they did not warn me about until the very end, right before surgery. And they said that, you know, that was possible. My cousin who had had the surgery also warned me that it was possible, and I did some research on it. And about 20 to 30% of hair loss is normal when you have any kind of major surgery. And so I knew that that was a possibility. And it took a little while, took a couple months before it happened, but then it hit. And I have lost probably up to, oh, the dog's barking. Probably up to 80% of the hair that I had. And I had a lot of hair to begin with, so that was helpful, but 80% is a big number, and it definitely freaked me out. So I finally called the doctor and was like, I don't know what to do, and they put me on some vitamins that's supposed to help, hopefully. So hopefully the hair loss will stop soon, because it is possible to go completely bald, and I would really like to avoid that. Even if it happens, it won't make the surgery not worth it. I've never regretted it in any way. It's just one of those things that I could do without, but it's okay. And I got my hair cut finally the other day from an old friend of mine, and it feels better since I got it cut, probably because it had been a really long time. So I don't know what else to say, really. I think it's been a really good thing so far. I really appreciate everyone's support. It's really just been a job trying to figure out what I can eat, what I can't eat, and trying to get the protein in as much as possible without having to do shakes all the time, which I personally find a little disgusting. So it's a job, again, still trying to do it. But now that school is back in session for me, and I'm still working on other things, and the kids are in school, I'm going to have to try that much harder to make sure that I'm doing my job and doing the food the way that I need to, and paying attention to what I'm eating, and staying with an actual scheduled diet really does help, knowing what you're going to eat beforehand instead of just trying to run in there and grab something at the last second. So the weight is definitely coming off, and I'm really excited, and I'm really enjoying the process, and I appreciate everyone's support, and I hope that this was helpful. And not, I have so many things that have happened in the last month, it's hard to narrow them down, so I hope it wasn't kind of a cluster when you watch it. And I hope that everyone's doing really well and staying inspired and having a great beginning of the new school season. Thanks. Love you all.